When you encounter difficulties, if you remember my history very well, I nurtured the opposition. I came into opposition as a candidate of ACN, which made metamorphosed one of the merging party to form APC. I nurtured it towards the end of being the candidate. The ticket was taken away from me. We nursed that wound. We were blackmailed. In trying to get my supporters on their side, they weaponized my supporters against me. And one of the things they said then was that I sold the ticket. And because of the level of blackmail and uninformed people, people seem to trend on that part. And we licked our wound, and with courage, we went into another primaries in 2019. And here we are, we nursed that wound. They took the ticket away from us again. We were there. We never been rewarded for all the effort that we put in place in nursing the party. The party is not a one-day affair. It has to do with registration of members, putting the structure in place. Sometimes people that will come in to do the congresses, you house them, you spend money, and at the end of the day, people will gang up and brought the issue of how they will get it from me, maybe money, what happened. You cannot understand why you should be the one who nurture things. And at the end of the day, you won't be given the ticket to run, I tolerated that. And what really pained me most of the time is that when they come to take the ticket, they come with blackmail stories that are not real. And sometimes we're very patient. So it's like the children of Jacob about wealth. You dig this well, they close it. You dig this well, they close it. Until you arrive at a boat. It almost happened this time. The same forces, the same people from PDP, I left them in PDP when they strangulated the system against me to form a new party. They came into this party. When we formed this opposition, nobody thought it would be successful. I remember the hack was down, we were called names. I remember in ACN days, they said, I've sold the Akwa Ibom to Tinubu, the candidate of ACN now. They made a law, they put me in prison, they charged me for treason. They did everything to destroy me. I remember the day, during this time again, we were moving from PDP to ACN. They didn't want us to move. They arrested us, charged us for murder. We put in detention with criminals. But thank God, we were given bail, we came to do declaration. So now, the same thing almost happened again. They were locking the system again, and they come with another blackmail. So we needed, when we look at the timeline of the INEC timeline of the system, we had no other option because we have to be on the ballot to move to be on the ballot. Because if you are not a candidate, Akwa Ibom people will have no option of choosing you or any, So we now, that's how we are where we are. We're now the candidate of NNPP. And we're coming to do things that has never happened. So there is a build in me that I believe God has given me certain things that are not given to other people to do it. Empirical, and to show you an example, I was the first young man to be chairman of Uyo local government at the age of 32. That opened doors for people. Even those who have inherited or benefited from that action, they don't even know why, because we broke that jinx. I became a senator at the age of 35. Today, there's a confidence everywhere. It might not, I don't want glory as long as I have done what God said I should do. Like this governorship, I'm coming to do what no one has done before, because I have inspiration and things that is in me. Even above all these things that I was saying, I have love, greater love, that even with this, I'm not hot. I'm focused on what I'm doing, I'm going to do, what I'm going to do. So there's this thing embedded in me that I need to implement. I'm running for governor, I'm the candidate, I'm not an aspirant. I cannot understand why we should collect from the federation account over 1 point something trillions, and no one seemed to know about it. And most Akwa Ibom, but very, very few people, like when I have encounter with journalists, I said, do you know how much we've collected from January to date? No one seemed to know. No one seemed to know the internally generated revenue. I cannot understand why we should remain poor. I cannot understand why we should not convert, why we're not converting the resources we get from mineral resources to manpower development. I cannot understand. I cannot understand why we should not provide the enabling environment for people to actualize their dream in life. I cannot understand why people in this state should not be, those intellectuals, those gifted people should not shine in the world. I cannot understand. Because there's a paper I presented in America some time ago when they asked one province in China who discovered oil. So what are you going to do with my oil money? I said, I'm going to put in human development, because after oil is human being that will sustain the society. I cannot understand why we should be poor. I cannot understand why we have 51 or 53% of unemployment. I cannot understand with the resources we have. I cannot understand why pensioners should cry. I cannot understand why people should work, old people should die in looking for their pension. I cannot understand that. That's why I've said clearly. Somebody asked me yesterday, what will you do in your 100 days? I wipe out the issue of pension and gratuity. It must be wiped out. People must not. As a Christian, if those people cry as well you're in government, you have to check your Christianity. One of the things you do, you ameliorate the suffering of the poor people to the barest minimum. I have a policy that says there won't be any complaint, zero complaint of pension and gratuity, and why the poor people who are talented, irrespective of background, should remain that way. Once I move, that's the end of APC, become a dead party. Those who are, you see as APC are NDDC contractors. The real APC is gone. Some will be afraid, their livelihood is gone. APC is gone. NNPP has come to stay. By my movement, it has become #1 party. They know, they have seen things. I don't need to bother to go into it. And some who have followed me understand it very well. Can I just say for once, I will say trying bo. I will try, I would say. At least try me and say, okay, I have been looking for this. Try me and see. Somebody will say every time, if you said, I said, are you telling me I am election? He tried first time, second time, until the alignment. There are a lot of people are going to talk to, both in all the parties to align. Tinubu have been looking for how to become president. I tried until this has just been given to him. Kwang Kwanso have tried to be, he ran second to Mr. President. He left, he went to PDP, he has just come here. So trying and not succeeding does not make the person a sellout. It's not everybody that has tenacity. It's not everybody that has focusedness. It's not everybody that believes in what he believes in. If you believe in something, you have to be consistent to get to where you are going. Therefore, it is my duty to enlighten Akwa Ibom people why it should be me. And I want to agree with you. Ideologically, when you're talking about, it's a platform. We sell it. I brought APC here. Nobody knew about it. We've been struggling. And it was known because of me, my consistency. I don't just jump into a party. I built it. I built it. When I left PDP, it was viable. I didn't say, oh, I will miss the money. I will miss this. I started it. The same way you can look down on it, became something else and formed the federal government. We beat PDP. And we formed the federal government. So I want you to look at me. I want to earn your trust. I want you to believe in what I'm doing, and you try it and say, we don't have much time, so let me tell you. One, I have told you the issue of pensioners, gratuity will be wiped out. That's what I said. Don't say I have explained to you. Two, I have told you we're paying 1 million to 1,000 people per local government. Three, I have told you how to empower our people. That's how to elevate poverty out of our society. Government need to provide enabling environment and resources for people who are talented, who are gifted, who are intelligent, who have the ability to grow. Government has to do that. We have to train. Our educational sector must be trained to match the current trend, to technological development. We must train to a destination, not just to have a certificate.